You've worked hard, you've done your duty, saved your pennies, and now it's time to think about retirement. But before you let loose, you may have critical questions. How can I pick the best plan for me? Where do I go for the right information? What are the tools to make my money grow? Strategy, information, solutions, and advice from qualified credentialed professionals. Joe Anderson and Al Clopine of Pure Financial Advisors have the answers to your retirement plan. This is Your Money, Your Wealth.
It's a little bit after the hour. Good morning, everyone. Joe Anderson here, certified financial planner alongside Big Al. He's sitting right over there. You're watching Your Money, Your Wealth every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11:30 right here on Cox Channel 4. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great show lined up. We got to squeeze a ton of information in the next half an hour. If you are ever been confused about your retirement or the options of your retirement, stick around. Because think about it. Some of you might have a 401k plan. How about a 403b, 457, TSP? How about an IRA? Maybe it's a Roth IRA or something as crazy as a Roth IRA conversion. If you're confused at all about all your options, don't worry about it. You are not alone. There is so many different things that you have to consider in regards to a successful retirement. That is what this show is all about. We're going to get you the nuggets that you need to make really good decisions. Now, like I said before, I'm a certified financial planner. Also, I'm president of Pure Financial Advisors. We are one of the largest fee-only financial planning firms here in Southern California. We manage over $1 billion of client assets. And for the last 20 years, almost 20 years, every single day I've been helping people just like you become successful with your overall money to make you a ton of wealth. So let's get started. Here's what's on my mind today. Wow, look at that mind. Did you know that my mind actually looked like that? Here's the deal. When it comes to retirement planning, there's a lot of misconceptions about one of the best retirement plans that is available. What I want to get into is something that's called a Roth IRA. There's a Roth IRA, there could be a 401k with a Roth provision, and then a Roth IRA conversion. Now, to help me sort all of this stuff out, I'm going to bring in my good friend, my partner, Big Al Clopine. I think he's around. Hey, there he is.
Here I am.
Big Al.
You know, the Roth IRA, Joe, this is probably maybe the best gift the IRS has given us in the last 2 decades, right? To create some tax-free income when it comes to your overall retirement. Because here's the deal. We all know about regular IRAs, 401ks, and the like. You put money into those, you generally get a tax deduction, but here's what happens is you hit retirement and all of a sudden you got to pay taxes on these dollars. So what about a Roth IRA? Why is that different? Well, a Roth IRA is 100% tax-free. Tax-free is pretty cool. That means that whatever you have in a Roth IRA, you're not going to pay any taxes on it. And this is true not only of your contribution or your conversion, it's true of the income and the growth inside of that Roth IRA. If you put $50,000, $100,000 into a Roth and it doubles, triples, quadruples, all of those dollars that you pull out of the Roth IRA are 100% tax-free. And Joe, in retirement, tax-free is a way to save a lot of money.
You know, Roth IRAs is one of our favorite tools when it comes to retirement.
It is.
Because there's huge advantages to the Roth IRA, like you just mentioned, is that if I could put $5,000 in, $10,000 into an account, and then have that money grow to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, and then when I pull those dollars out, I don't pay a dime in tax, that's a pretty big deal. And so most people's planning or overall retirement planning is that they're going into the standard retirement accounts. That, all right, well, here, I get a nice tax deduction, which is extremely important. You've been a CPA for, what, 30 some odd years?
That's right.
Tax deductions are key. But when you look at, all right, well, I could get the tax deduction, but it's just a loan. A tax deduction is just a loan because when those dollars grow, when you pull those dollars out, that's when you have to pay tax. And I guess here's the question. Where do you think tax rates are going to go? Are they going to go up? Or are they going to go down? Or do you think they're going to stay the same? If you are looking at retirement over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I would bet most of you that are watching this program would say, you know what, I think tax rates are probably going to go up. There's only one way that they can go, in our opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, well, up when you look at the.
Were you even listening to me?
No, not at all.
You were worried about what camera?
I was
you were like,
watching
okay,
the graphics.
should I go to this camera? Should I go to that camera? Which camera should I go to?
But let me tell you something. So first of all,
don't worry about the graphics.
This is our second show. So if we make a mistake or two, you got to stay with us. But I want to tell you guys, thanks so much for watching, and that you haven't tuned out already. Thank you so much, because we've done radio programs for years, but this is our second time on TV, and it's actually kind of fun. It's a little nerve-wracking, but it's kind of fun.
Really, you have to tell everyone that this is our second show. All right.
Well, they already know that.
Yeah, I know.
They can tell.
It's that bad. So let's do this. Let me get into some myths. All right, because there's a lot of myths when it comes to, all right, well, here, the Roth IRA doesn't make any sense for me, Joe. There's so many different things. So, Al, why don't you read myth number one?
All right, number one, you cannot use any of the money converted to a Roth IRA for 5 years and without additional taxes and penalties.
All right, so let's talk about a Roth IRA conversion and a contribution, because they have a couple of different rules.
Right.
So if you look at a Roth IRA contribution, first of all, that is FIFO tax treatment. So if I'm 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, I can put dollars into a Roth IRA. Now let's take a step back real quick. What a Roth IRA is just a shell, okay, that you can invest in mutual funds, stocks, bonds, CDs, cash, real estate, gold, whatever investment that you would like to choose, you can invest inside this shell called a Roth IRA. Good old Senator Roth. They came out in 1997. So any dollar that grows in the Roth IRA is 100% tax-free. If I make a contribution into the Roth, everything comes out tax-free, no matter what age, no matter what time, no penalties, no taxes. It has FIFO tax treatment, first in, first out. Now the confusion comes in with this 5-year clock. So if I do a conversion, okay, so that is now taking money from an IRA and converting it into a Roth IRA. The downside of that, of course, is that you have to pay the tax going in, but you have access to those conversion dollars if you're over 59 and a half, all right? If you're under 59 and a half, then that is true. Then you cannot touch those dollars until you turn 59 and a half. So we've had clients, Al, that are in their 60s and 70s, and they'll say, well, you know, the Roth IRA doesn't make any sense for me because any dollar that I put in, I can't touch those dollars for 5 years.
Right. And the other thing, too, to realize is when you set up your first Roth IRA, when you're over 59 and a half, here's what happens is that if you've never had an IRA, a Roth IRA before, that 5-year clock starts. And so therefore, 5 years until you can reach the growth, right, and income. The principal you can take any time that you want to, Joe, and that's the misnomer. People say, you know what, I'm already in retirement. I shouldn't do a Roth IRA because I got to wait 5 years. And the truth is you can get at your principal anytime you want to. You just have to wait 5 years for the growth in income. Now, once you establish your first Roth IRA, and you're over 59 and a half, that 5-year clock starts at that first Roth. So when you do another Roth conversion, you still go back to that original 5-year clock. Some of you maybe did a Roth contribution 15 years ago. You've already met your 5-year clock. So when you actually then do this conversion, you have access to income and growth and principal already because you've already met that 5-year.
So we're talking about myths about things that probably people don't even understand yet. So let's get back to the basics.
Yeah, we'll go back to basics.
So hey, we're going to take a short break. But when we come back, we're going to get into dispel more myths about retirement planning in general. I think the Roth IRA is probably the most misunderstood retirement plan that you have. So I hear some music, so it's just time for me to shut up.
That's the hook.
Hey, yeah, I'm getting hooked. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a second. Show's called Your Money, Your Wealth.
Wait a minute, let me tell you a little something about the money, honey. All right. Well, I'd be doggone if I wouldn't work all day, baby. And I'd be doggone if I wouldn't bring you.
Oh,
how about that?
You've got to love that. And a Saturday morning, we got to get the music back and get rid of the show, right? Welcome back to the show. Show's called Your Money, Your Wealth. I'm your host with Big Al Clopine. My name's Joe Anderson. Thanks for tuning in every Saturday morning, 11 to 11:30, right here on Cox Channel 4. Now, before the break, we had a little tease, which they call it now in TV, which I'm learning every second of every minute here of the show, is that we looked at, all right, well, there's some myths out there. Big Al, why don't you read the myth that we threw out to see what the audience did? True or false?
All right, myth number 1, true or false? My taxes will be lower in retirement, so I would not want to convert to a Roth IRA now at a higher tax rate.
All right, so that is true. Oh, wait, hold on. We got to wait for this.
Wait for it.
It is not what? We're waiting for something.
A buzzer.
Well, what do you think the answer is?
It's false. That's what they said.
Here's the deal. In most cases, it is false. In most cases, it is false. But it definitely could be true. See, what I wanted to talk about is that if you didn't save any money, right, you're not going to be in a higher tax bracket in retirement. But for a lot of you, a lot of our listeners on our radio show that we're on 760 KFMB each and every Saturday as well, most of you have saved some money, and the IRS punishes people that have saved a lot of money because most of the dollars are in these retirement accounts, your IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, TSPs, $19 trillion at last count. Every dollar that comes out of there is taxed at ordinary income rates. So what the purpose of the show is to educate you, is there better options? And there's a lot of myths of saying, hey, well, I will be in a lower tax bracket in retirement, so maybe I shouldn't do a Roth IRA contribution or conversion. But in most cases, if you've saved money out, we see that people are actually in a higher tax bracket.
Well, that's right. And so if that's your case, it's actually false. It's totally false. In other words, you're in a bracket right now, but here's what happens at 70 and a half. There's a required minimum distribution. So you have to pull money out of that IRA or 401k, whether you want to or not. So for many of you, you're going to be in the same tax bracket or even higher in retirement. So for you, that's false. Now, as you say, Joe, if you really haven't saved that much money in retirement, you probably will be in a lower bracket, and so you probably don't want to do your conversion. So it's a little bit individualized depending upon what your situation.
Oh, no, all right. So what you need to look at is your tax bracket. So Ty, if you want to pull up the tax tables, and then so you can kind of take a look at where people are at from a tax perspective. So this is a married filing couple here in 2014, and the rates were marginally.
That's a big word, marginal.
Well, I mean, they're a marginal tax rate. You know what I'm talking about. Go ahead, explain it to our listeners.
So here's what this means. You can see the tax brackets on the screen. So married filing joint from 0 to 18,150, that's 10%, right? And then after that, it's 18,000 to 73,000, it's 15%. Now, here's what happens is when you go into the next bracket, a lot of you guys think that every single dollar is taxed at that higher bracket, and that's not true at all. It's only the dollars that go into that next bracket. So if the top of the 25% bracket is almost 74,000, if you have one extra dollar into the next bracket, it's only that one extra dollar that's taxed at that 25%, not the whole thing. Joe, we a lot of times have people tell us, you know what, I don't really want a bonus because I'm going to go into a higher bracket thinking they're going to pay a lot more taxes. No, it's just those few dollars that you pay on the extra that's over that bracket. That's what a marginal tax system means.
So let's do this. I want to go back to the whiteboard,
okay,
and I'm going to draw a couple of different things out. Because if you look, you have to look at what tax bracket that you're in now, and then you have to see, okay, well, what tax bracket potentially am I going to be in retirement? But remember, these brackets, let's say the 15% tax bracket, right? It stops at $70,000 or $70,000 and some change.
Right.
And then the 25% bracket goes to $70,000 to $140. So that's about right? There's a big range here. Mm-hmm. So you have to look, all right, well, if I'm spending $100,000 or $50,000 in retirement, is going to make a difference on what type of strategy that you use tax-wise.
Absolutely.
So let's go back here. So I don't know if they can follow me or not, but I drew this out last week, and so I think it's important to kind of draw it out again.
So we have to watch you draw. That's the thing on the show?
This is like Sesame Street, Al.
So is that circles?
So you got so there's different pools of money that you can invest in, right? There's tax-free money. That's what we're talking about today. Every dollar that goes in, it grows 100% tax-free for me. That's what the TF stands for. There is a taxable account, so that's just any asset that you own. Outside of a retirement account, your real estate, mutual funds, stocks, bonds. Okay, so if I buy a mutual fund, if it grows, there's a tax, but it's a special kind of tax. Here's where most of the assets are, though. The tax deferred, the IRAs, the 401ks, the 403bs, and the like. So what we're trying to explain is that this is where all of the money is going right now. Tax deferred, tax deferred, tax deferred. And I'm sure you've heard this. Deferred, 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 deferred. Don't touch that money until you absolutely have to. Then I have to ask you this question. Where do you think tax rates are going? If you think they're going to go down, yeah, then we'll continue to defer these taxes all day long. But if you feel that tax rates are going to stay the same or potentially go up, now is the time to look at the Roth IRA and the Roth IRA conversion. So when you look at a Roth IRA contribution, there's limitations here. So when I look, it's a $5,500 or in a $1,000 catch-up. So if I want to contribute to the Roth IRA, there's limitations. I can only put in, let's say, the $5,500. Okay? If I'm over 50, I get a $1,000 catch-up. So that is one way to put money into the Roth IRA. If I'm married, my spouse can put in $5,500. If she's over 50, then she can put in another $1,000. But here's the catch. There is thresholds when it comes to income. So if you're married, it's $181,000 to $191,000. So if you make more than $191,000 as a married couple, joint on your return, AGI, bottom of the 1040, you can't do this. You're done. All right? How about a single taxpayer? It's $114,000 to $129,000. So if I make more than $129,000, boom, you're done. You can't do this. So there's another way to get money into a Roth IRA, and that is called a Roth IRA conversion. So now you're taking money from this tax-deferred account, your IRA, your 401k, your 403b, TSP, whatever plan that you have. You can convert. TIPR was signed in 2005, allowing everyone now, starting in 2010, to do a conversion. There is no age limit. There is no income limit. There is no conversion limit. If I have $1 million here, I can convert $1 million. But wait a minute, don't do that, because that is all what? Taxable. You got to pay the tax going in. So that's why looking at the tax brackets, what we just showed, is so important. Because you figure out, all right, how much money do I want to maintain as a lifestyle? Is it $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $250,000? I don't know. I don't know you. So you need to do the planning to figure out, okay, well, where am I at? And then you have to look at where's your assets. Because here's what happens. Most of the assets are in these tax-deferred accounts. And so if you look at a retirement income strategy, if everything is sitting in this tax-deferred account, as inflation goes up, what does that mean? My cost of goods and services go up. That means I need to pull more money from this account. As you pull more money from that account, what also happens? More tax. This strategy, utilizing the Roth IRA, is going to be your hedge against higher taxes and higher inflation. Now, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we're going to answer some email questions that you have. Go to info@purefinancial.com, info@purefinancial.com. And then we have another myth when it comes to Roth planning. So take a look at that. We'll get the answer to you. We probably won't screw this up. We probably will when we get back. So don't go anywhere. Show's called Your Money, Your Wealth.
Like a fool, I went and stayed too long. I'm wondering if you love this drug.
Welcome back to the program, folks. Show's called Your Money in Your Wealth. My name's Joe Anderson. I'm a certified financial planner, and of course, I'm always with the big man, Big Al Clopine, talking Roth IRAs, Roth conversions, retirement income planning. I'm drawing stuff on the whiteboard, having a little bit of fun on this Saturday morning. Hopefully, you're enjoying the program as well. We talked about some myths about retirement planning. And so I want to get back to the myth of Roth IRAs that we did before the break. So here it is. The best way for me to convert a Roth IRA is to convert all my retirement accounts and regular IRAs in the same year. Well, let's see. Do you think that's true or false? Wow. Boom. False.
It's absolutely false.
It's false. So here's the problem with that. And a lot of people do this. They look at, all right, well, here, I have an IRA plan. I'm thinking about doing a Roth IRA conversion, and I'm going to convert the whole thing. Convert it into a Roth and pay the tax. No, you don't have to do that. You can get it to the penny in your tax bracket if you'd like. It's not all or nothing. If you want to convert $1, $5, $10,000, $10 million, of course you can do that, but be careful, you will pay tax. Again, just to recap what a Roth IRA is and why we're talking about this, a Roth IRA is a retirement account, or a Roth 401k for that matter. It's a retirement account that you can invest dollars in that will grow 100% tax-free versus taxable. Tax-free is a lot better. There is no better rate than zero. Think about it. When you're in retirement, oh, there it is. Look at that drawing. That is so good. It looks like a fourth grader drew that, but no, that was me. When you look at your tax-deferred accounts, that's where all your money is. It's all going to be taxed at ordinary income rates. But if I can take a little bit of money, get a little bit of that off the table and put that into a Roth IRA, all of those dollars will be 100% tax-free. So don't think that a Roth IRA does not make sense for you, because in most cases it probably does. Now, looking at, if you want more information with this, if you want to have more of a classroom setting, I don't know, what you would rather do on an evening than sit down with myself at several of the community colleges around San Diego and also up in Orange County, is that I teach a retirement planning course. It's 6 hours long. It's usually, you could probably find one any night of the week. Maricosta College, Cuyamaca College, Southwestern College, San Diego State, you name it. I'm teaching, trying to educate you to make the best decisions. I'm trying to educate you, I'm trying to motivate you, I'm trying to excite you, I'm trying to entertain you about financial planning. It's not a lot of fun. I understand that. It's like, oh, inflation, taxes, and investments. Oh, I just don't want to do anything with it. I'm telling you, if you get motivated, if you understand this stuff a little bit better, you're going to be a lot better off. That's the goal of the show. That's the goal of the classes. So you can always go to info@purefinancial.com. I've talked enough. Let's get into the email bag, because there's a lot of emails coming in. And again, if you have an email, just go to info@purefinancial.com. First email is what?
Joe, we get a lot of questions each week. And again, email us at info@purefinancial.com if you have a question. This is from Connor in Encinitas, and he says, can my regular IRA be deferred for a long time after I turn age 70?
Well, here's the deal with any type of retirement account, 401k, 403b, TSP, IRA, individual retirement account, and the like, is that once you reach age 70 and a half, what we call that is judgment day. You have to start pulling dollars from the retirement account if you like it or not. If you don't need the income, you have to start pulling the money out of an IRA. Now, the only exception to that, if you have a 401k plan, so if I'm still active and I'm still working in my 70s, so I know a lot of you are still working in your 70s, you are putting money into the plan. You do not have to take a required distribution from an active 401k plan if you turn 70 and a half. All other plans, including a Roth 401k, you do have to take a required distribution at the age of 70 and a half. It would be great if you could just parlay that tax deferred forever, but you can't. Let's go, what else do we got? A couple more emails, Big Al?
We do, Joe. So here's our next question is, when I die, will my spouse or children will they be able to continue deferring paying taxes on regular IRAs for years to come?
Why don't you take that one, bud?
All right, so the answer to that is very, very potentially yes. So it's called a stretch IRA. So first of all, let's talk about what happens when it's your spouse. If you pass away and your spouse receives it, your spouse can either decide to put it in their own name or they can keep it in your name, and there's advantages and disadvantages to both. And it depends upon if you're under 59 and a half or over 59 and a half. Let's say you're under 59 and a half and your spouse was older than 59 and a half, you might want to keep it in their name because that allows you to pull money out if you need it, right? If you need it without penalty. If you put it in your name, you're going to have to wait till 59 and a half. No problems with this one. Now, when it goes to the next generation, for the kids to be able to stretch it over their lifetime, there's a couple requirements to be able to do this. First of all, they have to title it correctly. It has to be titled in the name of the deceased person for the benefit of, and then for who, or date of death, and for the benefit of. That can be a stretch IRA. When you do that, then you can stretch that IRA over your lifetime, which means you don't necessarily have to take it all at one time, or the other choice is over 5 years. Now be aware, that Congress, the President, are trying to change that. They're trying to take away that stretch law so that you'll have to pay all your taxes on your IRA for a non-spousal beneficiary, for the kids, for the next generation. So stay tuned on there. But for right now, you can do a stretch IRA.
You think that will happen?
I don't know.
So
it's possible.
Well, sure it is, but here's the deal. If you have a retirement account, we'll probably see, in my opinion, more lawsuits than ever before when you pass and the money goes to the next generation. Because I've said this 10 million times, but there's 10,000 baby boomers turning 65 every single day for the next 10 to 12 years. Now, where's the bulk of the money is in these retirement accounts is from the baby boomers, right? Because the generation before that had large pensions. And plus, the retirement accounts or the defined contribution plans, your 401k plans, didn't come out until 1974 under ERISA, and you could only put a couple of bucks in anyway. So most of the money from sitting in these retirement accounts are from the baby boomers. Now, they're start dying off. Most people don't understand the true taxation of these accounts. They look at the statement and they'll say, look, I have $1 million, 500,000, 100,000, whatever it is. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have that much money, because when you start pulling dollars out, you're partners with the IRS. So all of those dollars have to come out and pay ordinary income tax, the highest of rates. Now, when you pass away, that's where the kids are going to be stuck with that tax. That's called IRD tax, income respected decedent. I'm getting way too deep, but I want to make sure that you understand that the kids are going to have to stretch that tax. They can stretch that taxation out over their lifetime. Back in 2000, they had to take it out in 5 years, and Big Al is warning you that that could happen again. So that's maybe another reason to get money into a Roth IRA. But we got just a couple of seconds, Al. Let's just try to jam out one more quick email.
Right, number 4, real quickly. Can I pay for the conversion tax with my IRA money? Joe, I'll let you answer that.
Yes, you can, but don't do it. You absolutely can do it, but it's your money, right? But don't, because if you're under 59 and a half, you take it out, it's ordinary income tax, and then it's a 10% penalty. So let's say I convert $20,000 from my IRA to a Roth IRA. I owe $3,000, $4,000 in tax. I take that money out of the plan to pay the tax, or I withhold the taxes. If I'm under 59 and a half, that's all going to be ordinary income tax to you, plus a 10% penalty. Woo! That's it, man. That's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. We appreciate you watching. Join us next week. We got another great show lined up. I'm going to talk more about retirement planning, some different things that you got to do. We're going to be more sharp. We're going to be better. We're going to be more funny. It's going to be phenomenal. Stick around. Have a great weekend. Show's called Your Money, and it's your wealth. Have a great weekend.